Hi, I'm Josh Wood from CoreOS. In previous episodes, we've taken a look at how pods and deployments execute, replicate, and scale work on tectonic clusters. But how do clients, like other applications or internet users, access the fruits of those labors running on the cluster? As we've taken a look at before, pods running within deployments are dynamic. They live, sometimes they die, they're replaced, and they're upgraded to new versions. As this happens, despite the fact that each pod does have an IP and port available within the cluster, it can be difficult to maintain contact with the services that are provided by the pods running in our backend deployment. The Kubernetes services abstraction provides named stable endpoints for other applications and clients to access applications running in Kubernetes clusters. We can imagine a backend service that maps a cluster IP endpoint to the services provided by the pods running in our backend deployment. So let's take a look at an example. Imagine an application with two parts, a front end and a back end. Our backend deployment, let's say the pods in it calculate pi. Now, the front end wants to access the results of those calculations, but it doesn't really care which of the pods running in our backend deployment actually execute it. It could reach any one of them and get the same results. The service is designed to represent this abstraction, this idea of the services an application provides as separate from the ephemeral pods that actually execute such calculations. So our front-end deployment, also made up of a number of replicated pods, can by name execute a known or connect to a known endpoint in the Kubernetes cluster to reach the services provided by the backend deployment. This is based on the service having designated a selector for what applications it should connect to on the backside of this known named endpoint. In our case, we've chosen the selector app equals backend, and each of the pods running in our deployment backend have that label. So even as pods die and are replaced or are upgraded to newer and more improved versions of our backend application, the deployment front end can continue to reach those services without changing the name it uses to describe them or the place where it locates them. Now, it's important to remember, services by default are given a cluster IP, and that's an endpoint accessible only within the cluster. Exposing services to external clients requires explicit action, and in a later episode we'll take a look at how to make your cluster applications available to millions of subscribers on the internet. Thank you.